Right, so we have to do the newspapers. Mama, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. Good
It looks
morning.
like this morning we're looking all dark.
We are.
Well, I was wondering what we're doing. Are we mourning?
A very good friend of mine lost his brother. The funeral is next weekend. Mr. Frank Amable. Good morning to you. I'll share details of,
is it my friend
of the
too?
funeral. Now he is. But no, not yet.
Frank
no,
Amable.
not yet.
Good morning
not
to
yet.
you.
Not yet.
He should be watching us, so I will give him some shout
No,
out.
he is watching us right now.
Okay, Frank, good morning to you. I will call you.
Yeah.
That's when one accordance connection. I'll call you.
That's why he will be your friend. Let's do the newspapers. We'll start off with the Daily Graphic newspaper, front page of the graphic. We'll see that in a bit. SNIT board sacks Afaglo, but he threatens to challenge decision in court. There we have it on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. That full story on page 20. Don't be appendage of any political party, President tells NCCE. That story was in our news a while back. But the banner headline, CID probes 3 government appointees over bribery allegations. 2 of them, the allegation came from A+. One, who is the communications minister, that allegation came from a member of parliament, Ken Ejapong. So, but with hers, we know that some documentations have been carried forward. So evidence has been carried forward. A+ is yet to, as of yesterday. But this full story is on page 3, a bit of that in the Daily Graphic newspaper. And it says the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service has begun investigations into corruption allegations leveled against 3 appointees of the president's Ado Dankwa Ado-led administration. The other Minister of Communications, Mrs. Eslo Usue-Kofo, and the 2 Deputy Chiefs of Staff at the Presidency, Mr. Francis Asenso-Boache and Mr. Samuel Abu-Jenapo. The investigations followed allegations of corruption made against Mrs. Esla Ekofo by the Member of Parliament for Asing North, Mr. Kennedy Ejapong. Other allegations of corruptions were also made against the 2 Deputy Chiefs of Staff by Mr. Ejapong and hip-life musician Mr. Kwame Asario-Bing, popularly known as A+. So details of that, the exact allegations, and the full details of that and how the CID is going to move forward with those allegations, all captured here in the Daily Graphic newspaper. You can find time and read the details of this story. CID probes 3 government appointees over bribery allegations. Let's move on to page 20 on Mr. Fagalo, who's been sacked. He's been let go by SNIT, but apparently he's going to fight it. So the head of the Management Information Systems of the Social Security and National Insurance Trusts, and the doctor is in court again because that's what's been challenged. Caleb Afaglo has been dismissed for gaining employment through the use of fake academic certificates. A statement issued in Accra yesterday by the acting corporate affairs manager of SNIT, Mrs. Victoria Abedu, said, quote, the evidence made available to the trust indicates that the university degrees presented by Dr. Afaglo to secure his employment at the trust are fake, unquote. It's indicated that Afaglo, who is currently on interdiction, has been relieved of his post with immediate effect. Now, let's fast forward to the point where he says he's going to fight that. I'm looking for that angle of the story. Meanwhile, the Director General of SNIT, Mr. Dr. John Ofori, told the Daily Graphic in an interview that Dr. Afaglo was dismissed after due process was followed per the terms of conditions of service for management staff. Reports Mabel Akubanase. Okay, he said Dr. Afaglo appeared before a committee set up by the SNIT board in the presence of his lawyers. Dr. Ofori said the committee comprised himself, 3 other board members, a Deputy Director General of SNIT, and a representative of the Human Resource Department on the trust. Quote, we followed all the steps set out in his conditions of service before dismissing him. Okay, and the SNIT board boss assured the public that all was being done to protect the interests of contributions. Well, you have to read a lot more of the details. That's it. It's actually another story altogether. Counsel for the embattled General Manager in charge of Management Information Systems of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, where's his name, has threatened to go to court and challenge the dismissal of his client. According to his counsel, Mr. Charles Owusu Juana of KSAN law firm, they have not yet received any notification of SNIT dispensing with the services of Dr. Faglo, and that they only heard of it on radio, which he said was unfortunate. So details of what the lawyer is saying, all in this. Is actually a very detailed report put together here. Vance Azu is the one who wrote this other angle of it. So please find time. It's on page 20 in the Daily Graphic newspaper. Let's check out what's making back page headlines in the Graphic this morning. Adriana hold hard to keep top sports. Some sporting news. Also, Sharks bite Kotoko at Elmina. So Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Roland's favorite local club, they went down. Yeah, they went down.
You needed to add that one, right?
Yeah, I had to. Benedict.
You had to rub it in.
Benedict
Hurricane
will be here to give
in.
us the midweek fixtures and how things turned out. And that center spread of the Daily Graphic newspaper, Stanbic Business Incubator to support 1,500 SMEs, Institute to promote public trust in insurance, MTN Mobile Money Partners, Brussels Airlines for ticket payments, and Gasem Takrade adopts Efiang Kwanta Regional Hospital. Roland, I'll be somewhere this morning, but I'll tell you all about it after the review. I'm going out. I'm going somewhere.
I hate secrets.
A group of doctors who have decided to bring a lot of hope to people who have challenges medically and the poor, essentially, because they undertake very crucial operations. You know,
are they on Ghana?
Yeah, they're Ghanaians.
Not abroad.
No,
coming
right
home.
Here. Yeah.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'll share some of the wonderful things they've been doing.
That's good.
And I'll spend a bit of time with them this morning. I'll tell you where exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do the
I wanted to put the cart before the horse. But we're doing the Ghanaian Times next. On the front page, we have a storybook, of course, by George Riafe, the business team. And they brought that the close of the Newsday yesterday. It says the IMF has extended Ghana's program by 1 year. Gives thumbs up to economy. And the story is on page 17 of the paper, the Ghanaian Times. And the approval is the outcome of a meeting between officials of Ghana and the IMF team in Accra. It took place on Wednesday. And this followed the successful review of Ghana's program with the fund. The outcome paves the way for the release of about $116 million US support for the country's import and export needs. It also means that the IMF has approved government's policies and commitment to stabilizing the economy. And we know that since January, the economy has just been doing well. So that's good news. You have a picture there of the Finance Minister, Ken Oforiatta. Other stories on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. 29 galamseyers fined 15.6 million Ghana cedis. Gaming Commission to crack down on illegal gaming centers. That story is also on page 16. Apparently, it talks about the Gaming Commission embarking soon on an exercise to clamp down on illegal gaming centers, as well as end the illegal practice of child betting in some communities. And I know notably in my community, in Ashaiman, etc., we tend to have a lot more of young people who patronize these gaming, especially put there by these Chinese people.
But you'll be surprised, Roland. I know of other people who don't necessarily come from places like your famous Ashaman community who are also into this.
You mean they come from East Legon and all that?
Everywhere.
They go to casino.
Everywhere.
East Legon cantonment, they visit casino. Yeah, in this casino. See, they go to casino.
It is really popular.
Yes, by a casino. Who say the same thing
right here
to
this
casino.
morning, right this minute. Coco has probably done it, or I don't know.
And then other stories also on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. 7 associations to boycott launch of tax stamp today. That's also serious. And apparently all the top stories are on page 15, page 17, page 17, page 17. And then our famous or infamous Dr. Afaglo is occupying page 23 of the Ghanaian Times. So he's a very handsome guy. And the story is that SNIT has sacked Dr. Afaglo. Yo, we're here. Back page, thriller in Accra, as Hearts Idiana battle for 3-3. And I was just reading on Facebook yesterday, a couple of people saying that they really enjoyed the match. That's supporters of Accra Suffolk. Because Accra Suffolk were down, I believe 2-0 or 3-1 or something of the sort, and then they went back up, so or drew. So that's a good job they did yesterday. But
I can do the finder.
Yeah, please do the finder.
Okay.
Is it credible? So is it the business you're holding?
Yes, because on Thursdays the finder turns business. Exactly, but they got very important news
Thursday,
stories in
business.
the paper today. Exactly. So front page of the business finder, you'd find banks write off some 609 million Ghana cedis that will be in loan. Also 16 SOEs, that's state-owned enterprises, face probe over failure to submit audited financial statement. Let's check this one first. Banks wrote off 609 million Ghana cedis as bad debts in June 2017, just this year, compared with 541.8 million Ghana cedis provision made in June 2016, according to the Bank of Ghana's Financial Stability Report for July 2017. The year-on-year growth was 12.4% in June 2017, as against 20.6% in June 2016. The provision made by the banks in their books included loan losses, depreciation, and others. The non-performing loans, however, still remain high on the books of the banks, with almost half of the banks recording NPLs of more than, and that's the non-performing loans, of more than 20%. Details of all of that in the paper. Quickly on this story, the Ministry of Finance has disclosed plans to investigate why 16 state-owned enterprises have failed to submit their audited financial statement for the 2015 and 2016 financial years. The anomaly is a clear violation of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921. Does it come with any punishment? Why don't we just go ahead instead of finding out why they failed to comply? Why don't we just go ahead with what the punishment is? Other business stories in the Business Finder this Thursday. You can grab the big paper and read the details.
Well, so we have to do the next paper, the Daily Guide. The Daily Guide has on the front page, the Electoral Commission boss blows $71 million, 249 million Ghana cedis. And according to the Daily Guide, this is without approval. The story is on page 2. It starts there. It says details of the second petition that is seeking the impeachment of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Charlotte Osei, are coming out. And the petitioner, Douglas Seidu, a lawyer, is claiming that Mrs. Osei was in breach of the public procurement practices and provisions of the Public Procurement Act, as well as gross financial mismanagement. He accused the EC boss of awarding contracts amounting to some 249 million Ghana cedis and $71 million, respectively, without following due processes in the procurement laws of our country. The petition, which was filed on August 18 at the office of the President, claimed Mrs. Charlotte Osei unilaterally awarded contracts in the run-up to the 2016 general elections without recourse to the 17-member commission. That's how it's been reported by the Daily Guide. And you just have to grab a copy of the. So this one is going through. But I love her, man. She is my woman for the year.
You said she's going to do something. She's not. I mean, it's just.
It's normal.
These are legal processes that people are trying to trigger.
Okay, normal.
So let's see how it goes.
Other stories we have on the front page of the Daily Guide. CID probes Nana Boys over corruption. You have a picture there of a Deputy Chief of Staff, Francis Asenso-Boakye. This has been ongoing, and A+. You see this thing?
Did you see the A negative and A minus on Facebook yesterday?
Somebody even wrote F. A friend of mine, I think he was with the president. He was
on the Super Morning Show on Joy FM yesterday. And some people rated his performance as, negative.
Well, SNIT sacks IT boss over fake degrees. You have a picture there of Dr. Caleb Afaglo.
Well, if the degree is fake, then why don't we do away with the doctor? The PhD.
Okay.
Well, but we know that he's fighting it, right?
Yes,
So.
that's why I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Shouldn't he?
Dr. Afaglo is also occupying the front page of the Today newspaper.
Okay.
He's there. This guy.
How about Monday morning?
This guy is handsome.
Monday morning, he gives us his certificates, and it's on the front page.
I don't believe it. I don't think his certificate is fake. I don't believe it.
Well, we don't know.
Snitch, IT boss sacked. Dr. Afaglo, very handsome man. Page 3 of the paper. And then we have don't destroy genuine businesses and for money. And then fearsome sharks silence Kotoko. I know fearsome sharks.
Elimina sharks. They've shacked you guys.
Elimina.
Yes.
Elmina.
I can do the Daily Dispatch
Please,
now.
you can. Right. You have my permission to do so.
That's it with the Today newspaper. But, you know, the Snit's former IT boss now. He's on all or inside all the newspapers this morning. If he didn't make the headlines, he's inside the pages somehow. The Daily Dispatch newspaper front page: alleged corruption at Flagstaff House. Kenya Japan drops names to CID. My minister was assaulted, according to Tony. Anthony Cabo is confirming this incident of a possible shooting or, you know, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, all of that in the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Ayaka. All right, Roland, I'm done with the Daily Dispatch.
So we're done. Those are the newspapers we have in the studio this morning. But quickly, we have to go to the online portals.
We do, but not before I say send me text messages. I've been a bit inconsistent with WhatsApp and regular SMS text, so please send me a regular SMS text message. Let's stick to that. This is the second time I'm saying this. Okay, so send me a lot more messages and I'll share it.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
It's a shame. It's a big shame. Let's do let's do myjoyonline.com. That's not a shame at all. Myjoyonline.com. Ghana to import timber from Liberia as local forests sadly depletes. Ghana will from next month begin importing timber from Liberia to help deal with what woodworkers say is the shortage of logs in the country. What else haven't we destroyed in our own country, Mother Ghana? Also on myjoyonline.com, Togo court jails 15 anti-government protesters. 15 supporters of Togolese opposition party, Pan-African National Party, have been handed jail terms for their role in recent anti-government protests. Details of that on myjoyonline.com. Double check quality of foods before consumption, and experts is warning. Food experts are urging consumers to double check the quality of foods they buy before consumption to save them from food poisoning. How do you do that? How do you double check?
I remember.
How do you double check what you're eating?
You and I went on a trip to Cape Coast some time ago. I ate some food on the road. I had food poisoning.
Yeah.
Since then, Charlie.
Yeah.
When I see people eating some foods on the road,
yeah.
I said me. Yeah. Because, you know, if the food is supposed to have been fried or cooked today, just look at the quantity. If it's not bought, what happens?
Yeah. How do they preserve
they put it back into the...
Yeah. Do they get rid of it or they just return it? It's true.
So you can imagine.
It's true. There are certain foods that you should never, ever, ever
try.
Buy. Yeah, especially
you and I
if you...
become
So I think one of my tips is I love tilapia, but I've learned a lesson the hard way.
So we have to
if I don't know the sauce, forget.
If you don't know the source of the
in terms of if I have not had tilapia from this source before,
okay.
And where it's coming from, like if I've not seen it,
being prepared.
Exactly, yes. I won't do it.
It has to be taken from the water,
and it has to be well done.
Yeah,
I won't do it.
Yeah.
It will rock you for 2 days.
Charlie. When you go to Cape Coast, and they have a place when you're on the Infantipim Road.
Yeah.
Before you get, some nice lady be there. In tilapia.
So you see, that's for you. That's a trusted source. So anytime
I get to, especially when this weekend I'm going to have the Uguafe to a fashion.
Yeah.
Charlie, that's a source.
That's the base, eh?
That would be the base. If I should get to Cape Coast this weekend, that would be the base.
So if you don't know the source, please don't even go there. But if you're traveling, you're safe with packaged stuff. So biscuits, you can get a drink with biscuit instead of buying chofi. And some meats that's sitting in some sieve that's looking so attractive.
And
you never
these
know.
Things that come now these days, moringa and that kind of thing. Sometimes, the traditional medicines are good, but if you don't know yourself, sometimes, even the normal orthodox medicine, you react to them.
Yeah.
And you can react to some of them. I know of a pregnant woman who they said, some of those things were good. She drank it, she was in the hospital. Ooh. But somebody also is pregnant, drank it, was okay.
Yeah.
So you just have to be careful.
And, well, if you're eating wache or kenke, which we can't do without, make sure it's hot. It is hot, absolutely hot.
And know where it's being prepared for.
Exactly.
As for me, I like it at the gutter, because that's where the best wache is
I beg. That's
where
what
the gutter water is smelling.
Oh, Roland!
It's the best.
No, Master. We say where the gutter is, but we don't
where
say
the gutter
smelling
is,
gutter.
Smelling, who's in there?
Oh, please. Roland, keep quiet. Let's move on.
So I watch it in the Udia.
My last tip. Oh, Roland!
Okay.
If it has to be a salad, you're better off preparing that yourself.
Yes, please. Yeah. Salad. Be careful. Salmonella. You get those infections a lot.
All right, let's move on. Still on myjoyonline.com. On other stories making our website. Minority pushed out Deputy Agric Minister, according to the Eastern Regional Minister. Is it a bad thing? The Eastern Regional Minister says
the
minority in Parliament is to blame for the resignation of Deputy Agriculture Minister William Kwetu last night. Okay, also on the page. IMF confirms extension of Ghana's program by 1 year. I thought we said we were not, but apparently we are. Anti-corruption campaigner comments Akufo-Addo's corruption fight. Ghana attack left me traumatized. The General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress says his encounter with some armed men in Suhum in the Eastern region has left him traumatized. Check this out. So he's made a report, a formal complaint to the police. They are investigating this matter. But yesterday, there was a press release from the party, and that's what he was called on radio. And that's where he shared this. So, but just as the incident happened, he called into Asempa FM, and I listened to that account. So we'll see what finally, in terms of after the investigations, what is arrived at. I am just waiting to see what the police say. All right, let's move on. SNIT sacks and interdicted IT manager over fake degrees. One of definitely very popular news in Ghana today is this, and one of the very famous people in Ghana. I think this was competing with the Deputy Agric Minister, but right now we give it all to you, Caleb Afaglo. You do all.
You take them.
Yeah. So SNIT $72 million scandal. Board management takes steps to publish names. We're waiting. This was also contained in that press release that was announcing the dismissal of Caleb Afaglo yesterday. So we wait on SNIT to see what kind of names come up. But if you didn't do due diligence, because SNIT is a big company, yeah, and if they couldn't do due diligence, whoever hired him, shouldn't that person also be punished for not doing due diligence?
It will be the HR and the management.
Exactly. What I mean is that it shouldn't be just him being sacked. We should see some punishment so they don't do it again, because the monies there are not for only them. They are also contributors of SNIT. Let's not forget that. We all,
journalists and and their pronouncement.
But if I didn't perform, he shouldn't be the only person going. He shouldn't be the only person. There should be somebody who is at SNIT, whose duty it is when they hire people for them to cross-check. That person clearly failed. If he fights this and it turns out that it is true, his certificates are fake, that person should also be punished. We're not difficult.
Now let's go to STFM online.
We only have Caleb and we're all blaming him. How about the person who... Okay, what word was I going to use? Was that person... Okay, fine. But that person should be punished. Yeah.
The things you say.
Yeah. I know. I'm the Deputy Agric Minister.
The things you say.
It can get me fired.
Well, so we have City FM online. We have a couple of stories on the main page. So you have other pages as well. But let's go City FM. Will resist sale of VRA thermal plant to Mutawakilu. Politicizing top security jobs threatens corruption fight. That's according to ISODEC. And then SNIT confirms MIS managers' degrees are fake and will assist Yoko on probe of the $72 million OBS deal. But you go up, you have Adam Mutawakilu, member of parliament for Damango, but also a ranking person on the
Energy Committee, Parliament.
Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament. They're on recess now, but he's still talking. Shows that they are doing their work.
Okay,
right.
here's a WhatsApp message. Roland says, Mamavi, I'm happy Kotoko lost. Well done, Shacks. Kotoko can stay and chop the Cape Coast Festival small as desserts. Pure fancy from Cape Coast. I love your message. Thank you for sending it. You're rubbing it in. Yeah, how about that, Roland?
Right. So we're bringing you just of what really is happening in Texas and the rest of America. We're told that it's moving to Louisiana. Blast fears over flooded Texas plants, and we know that there's a chemical plant in Houston, Texas is expected to explode as rescue work continues after Hurricane Harvey. Charlie,
this is incredible. You know what's happening
incredible
there?
Charlie, cities that you find on YouTube. Me, I only read them and see them on YouTube. Flooded houses, those houses, Charlie, people.
But I think the difference is how this rescue operation is being done. Yeah. How people are being rescued. I look back at June 3, and I didn't see any boats. Did you?
Never.
Did you see? I mean, like
not the June 3. Later, the Navy boats came.
Later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well.
All right. So
I guess that's also, as sad as it is, we should also be learning how they carry out.
We should also know that
some of these emergency operations.
Of Africa as well, but in Mumbai, India. Rescuers desperately search for survivors after a building collapses in India's financial capital, but we know that there'd been extreme flooding weakened the base of many of the foundations of those buildings.
And you know how they're also very much crowded in some of these buildings. You can imagine the devastation and the loss of lives.
Terrible there. But let's go to the wall page. Manchester bomber's brother faces trial, but facing the trial in Libya. And Abedi, not Abedi Pele, Hashim Abedi, is suspected of providing support before the suicide attack in May that killed 22 people.
There's a story of interest. Cameroon bans opposition TV channel. Authorities want to stop an English language station amid Anglophones' anti-government protests. Hey, power. Buhari chairs first cabinet for 5 months. SA student get $1 million loan by mistake. What did he do with it? They gave him $1 million in loan.
Can we read that?
Incredible. Whilst we try to open that, let me read a few messages. Hamid from...
But don't come and trace it and find it that they put in your account.
No, but yeah, you gave me, but I've spent it. I can pay 50 Ghana cedis every month.
Okay, go up. A South African university is investigating how a student was mistakenly given 40 million rand, which is $1 million.
Yeah.
The error became known after an image of a receipt showing the student's account balance was widely shared. He kept... okay, the guy to you fool. I mean, this is Pigeon, sorry.
I accuse the students of spending some of the money on a lavish lifestyle.
The guy to you fool, papa, how can you do? How if you do that thing like that?
So she reported the mistake. No, the student who has not been named said she reported the mistake.
Okay.
She has also been quoted as saying that she has returned the money.
Okay.
But the university insists that the student will be liable for every cent. A News 24 code spokesperson of the university. Interesting. Yeah, I'll account for every cent, but I can only pay 1 Ghana cedi every month.
Yeah,
how about that? After I'm a student. Hamid from Tanina says, good morning, Roland, Mama V. Okay.
1 million.
Roland, let me read messages. Hamid from Tanina, thank you for the message that you've sent to us. More text messages. Hey, somebody says I'm going. We should be calling me Mamaga. But what you don't know is my big sister is Mamaga, so I definitely can't take her place. This one says, this act led NDC to their comfortable lead. Now MPP ministers have started, corruption. Anyway, Nana, please pay trained teachers arrears. Jan Kwame from Brekum sending that message. This one also says, what is the president doing about the teachers that require our certificate by distance? Tell Mr. President to mind us. Patrick from Saboba sending us this message.
If you're already
this one also says, I know a colleague teacher who has worked for almost 34 good years, but only had 25,000 Ghana cedis from SNIT as his retirement benefits. And you use $72 million on IT firm. Come on, we need our money now. Apao Kwejo Simon in Asante Mampon sending this message. And there's a belated birthday wish. Asks the government when teacher arrears going to be paid for the 2016 batch. So Amponsa Isaac in Asawenso, a belated birthday to you. This one says, I think A+ did not convince me well enough for his claims to merit any investigations. He has quite hollow and really wonder why the staffers have to be investigated based on his claims alone. That's coming from Christian in Apam. This one also says, but how I wish for the collapse of the NDC like the CPP, only God knows. A party full of nation records. Oh, that's a bad wish. You don't wish for the collapse of any party. Why do you keep referring to the SNIT guy as Dr. Faglo when it has been established that he has no genuine certificates? That's Mr. Pureman in Tamale saying that. And this one says, any trending news for this year? NSS personnel are leave from Kintampo. Here's another one that says, it's time we start combing through the myriad of PhD holders in the country and ascertain the original ones. This issue of Afaglo is academic dishonesty, and that's coming from Sir Stone in Kumasi. Oh, lots more messages, but we've got just one minute. I want to share where I'll be going to later this morning as I, leave the studio. So Grafts Foundation, a group of medical professionals who've decided to do this good. They are operating on people who have challenges, paying for some of these surgeries, and essentially the very poor, and they're giving them these free surgeries. So check out some of the surgeries that they've done in the past. They are the Accra Regional Hospital. That's where I will be. This is before and after people with different conditions that they've taken care of them in the past. I'm joining the team of doctors and hopefully also speak to some of the people who have come to receive treatments at the Accra Regional Hospital. That will happen this morning. They've been doing this for a while, and I think a little over a week. So Roland, that's where I'm going.
They've been in the studio before, haven't they? They have. They've almost been like partners. We do a lot of, because what they do is incredible. And it's purely for free. But also my friend, Mr. Frank Amaibo, you lost your brother Evansni Adekweko, and that occurred on the 25th of July 2017. That's the man who we've sadly lost. So the funeral arrangements, that's coming up next week, Friday 8th of September at Senya Breku Road. That's happening. Senya Breku Road, Accra New Town. If you knew this man, Evansni Adekweko, you want to be part of this so we can celebrate a life that he lived well.
May his soul rest in peace.
Yeah, may his soul rest in peace. My friend now is Francis.
Frank Amaibo.
Frank Amaibo.
Yeah, the burial service is Saturday 9 September at Police Depot Tesano in Accra. Yeah.
Frank, please, our condolences. I'll call you, then we'll see what we can do.
Roland, I'm giving you a big surprise this morning.
Hey!
Yeah, I want an amazing man of God to inspire you. How about that? So we have the charismatic evangelistic ministry head joining us. The 2017 Day of Help is coming up, and we want to talk to this amazing man. So today we're talking to people who are basically inspiring a lot of us here in our country and doing a lot of good. Head Pastor Reverend Steve Mensah is live here in the studio this morning. Roland, take a lot of inspiration from him.
God bless you. God bless you, Mama. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. But you can get interactive as well. But we have a channel on YouTube. We're streaming there live. You can see Mama V there.
Oh, that's more.
So please make sure that you're on there. Go and watch Mama V.
Are you kidding me?
Do her too no. Okay, so Mama V is there on my iPhone.
Oh, please.
If
Give us a break.
If your iPhone doesn't look like mine, please.